Yo, it's me, CSCOTT, baby. We are now continuing the Star Wars retrospective with the one-offs. So, with Force Awakens being a big hit, Disney announced they would be making Star Wars spin-off films. Solo films that would be, not connected to any trilogy. Although, doesn't mean they couldn't have their own trilogy, I guess, but the first of which was Rogue One, a Star Wars story, followed by Solo, a Star Wars story. And how do I want to put this? Let's see, I was going by continuity-wise in the story. So we'll start with Solo. So, actually, to do the spin-offs, I have to do them by release order, because I did that with the, So, Rogue One was the first one of these, and it told a story I've always wanted to know. It's very known that the story of the first Star Wars movie, A New Hope, was about the Death Star plans. But how did they get the Death Star plans? This is that story. It's the daughter of the guy who made the Death Star, and apparently the guy who made the Death Star deliberately put that hole in the Death Star so that it could be easily destroyed. Now, I don't mind this film. It's okay. I think Solo's better because I'm open-minded, but the ending ruins the film. It suffers from prequel-itis, I call it. If a character or characters are not in any further films, if this is a prequel with a bunch of new characters that aren't seen in any of the other films other than Darth Vader, and a severely CGI Leia, then they almost die, right? And when I first went to see this, I remember I was with it. I was into it, and it was alright, and then it got to the ending, and I was like, I remember just sitting there going, you had me up until the ending. I was really enjoying it. Donnie Yen, especially with his, I'm on the Force is with me, and just everything. But people started dying, and then it was down to the last two on the planet. It was about to be destroyed by the Death Star. It just... if you wanted to show the power of the Death Star, what it was like to experience that, why not cut to Alderaan then, right? You can have them succeed and fly off, and then cut to Alderaan, and you show Jimmy Smits there as Senator Organa, make him look old, older, CGI, prosthetics, whatever you have to do, and he's sitting there, and all of a sudden the light shines in the sky, and just, and then you can end the film in that. If you wanted to show how it was, and, it could be, a prequel to the original Star Wars, as well as being connected to that. That would have been a better, if you're going to go out by killing someone. And the fact that even after this film, and after she died, supposedly Felicity Jones was signed on for more Star Wars films? How? She's dead. I don't get that. I don't know. The story wasn't the bad thing. It was just the execution of it. I get her father built the Death Star, put that fatal flaw in it as a backup. It needs it, that's fine. Her going to take care of it, that's fine. Everything in the film is fine. I know in my ranking I ranked it lower than Solo, or higher, whatever you say, because I don't like it as much as Solo. It just, you get these characters, and there are some good characters in here, but when you kill them all off at the end, it takes away from the experience, which is why I probably don't watch, this is my least watched Star Wars film, because when you kill everyone off at the end, it's just like, why watch it if you know they're all going to die? So, then, 2 years later, we got Solo, the Star Wars story, and it was controversial to say the least. Everybody was like, oh, no one can be Han Solo. Harrison Ford is Han Solo. No one can be Han Solo but Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford didn't even like being Han Solo. It's notorious that he wanted Han Solo to die in Empire Strikes Back. And then again in Jedi. He wanted him to die in Jedi. But he didn't. And so he died in The Force Awakens. Spoiler alert. What I reviewed, spoilers. Harrison Ford didn't ever want to be the character, alright? He wanted the character to die almost a get-go, right? So, I mean, clearly he has respect for the character to come back and play the character again, not only in The Force Awakens, but as a Force ghost, as someone who, and I'll get to that in the sequel trilogy as to why people are bitching and complaining, how is he a Force ghost if he didn't believe in the Force? We'll get to that. I'll talk about that when I get to that video, but I was open-minded about this. And when I saw this, I thought it was pretty good, actually. And the twist with Darth Maul at the end got me. I mean, I already knew about the Clone Wars stuff as much as that did kind of make me roll my eyes a little bit, though, because I was like, oh, we're incorporating Clone Wars into the canon now? How? I mean, if you think about it, as a spin-off TV show, Star Wars Clone Wars, that's one thing. But if you're trying to incorporate that into the films, and now The Mandalorian, as we're supposed to be getting, how? How do you explain her absence from Episode 3? You could say, oh, well, Episode 3 was made before this was even thought of. Yes. But it still doesn't make any sense to me. It's going to confuse me to the day I die, probably, unless they explain it. But there were some things that did make me roll my eyes. Besides that, his name. They call him Han. That's just his name is Han. And he says, I always go solo. So they call him Han Solo. Really? That's his name? That's why his name is Han Solo? Because his name is Han and he goes solo. Han Solo. Oh, that made me roll my eyes. That was the one thing in this movie I did not like. It's when they said, what's your name? Han. Han what? Huh? What clan do you belong to? He goes, I don't belong to anybody. I go solo. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. Just like in the end of Rise of Skywalker. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. Han Solo. Oh. They did it. And the performances. Now, my confusion with this, one thing that frustrated me is how he and Chewie meet. Because the trailers kind of gave that away, and I'm like, no. Chewie should already be with him when the movie started, if you start off an adult. Because back when Episode 3 was coming out and I was in high school and stuff, there was a website dedicated to everything Star Wars. And on that website, and I don't know if it was an official website or anything, but it had a lot of stuff on Star Wars that was, like 99.9% of it was correct. And according to that website, Han Solo was raised by Wookiees. So therefore, when this movie started, Chewie should have already been with him. I was actually expecting it to start with him being found by the Wookiees. But it didn't. It started with him as an adult. And he didn't know Chewie. And that's where I was kind of frustrated. I'm like, why are they saying he's being... What? Why does he find Chewie in a prison? What? He should already know Chewie before the movie even started. If anything, it was him as an adult. I don't get it. That's what I not grew up on, because I was 18 at the time, but that's what I believed. Like, that's what I was known until this film came out. And I get it, filmmakers are gonna do some retconning, and maybe they didn't know about that, but that's what I have believed ever since I, read that website. I know some websites can't be trusted, but this was website. It was a fan website, sure, but the information in the guy, and maybe that was in the expanded universe that he was read by Wookiees. And yes, the films have largely ignored everything in the expanded universe. But if you're gonna put one thing from the expanded universe into this, like the books, I mean, you could have done that. That's the one thing that kind of confused me. But yeah, this film wasn't bad, and they kill off Woody Harrelson, but he's not really big. And the fact they set it up for a potential sequel was enough to go on that, oh, maybe they thought this movie was actually going to do good. Now, what they didn't expect is that people were going to be dicks and be all, ooh, hashtag not my Han Solo, all because it's not Harrison Ford. But like I mentioned before, even Harrison Ford, maybe he cares, maybe after all these years, he has a respect for the character. Respect enough to reprise the role. Because if you think he has to have respect for it, because if he didn't, he probably would have just had to tell them, hey, kill my character off between movies. You know what I mean? Say, hey, he was killed between Jedi and this film. But have respect enough to come back. Because like I said, Harrison Ford's been wanting to kill off Han Solo since Empire, I think. And then he said he should have died in Jedi. And now, he died in Force Awakens. But people are saying, oh, it's not Han Solo if it's not Harrison Ford. But just remember that he didn't even want to be Han Solo. Open your minds, people. There can be new incarnations of your favorite characters out there. It doesn't have to be, oh, it's got to be that person. The dude is in his 70s. There's no way he's going to be going around, if they did a Han solo film. Sorry, that one, Inception there in my brain. If they did a Han Solo spin-off film in the 90s, when Harrison Ford was only in his late 40s, early 50s, then that would have been something. You know what I mean? If they had him, the fugitive, his age, he wasn't a fugitive, alright? Which was probably 40s, 50s-ish. Mid to late 40s, and have him playing Han Solo then. Maybe. But to say you could do a Han Solo spin-off film now, I don't know how much action you can get out of that. So the only course of action is to go back and do a prequel with a younger actor. And yes, when I first saw the actor, I was like, hey, there's nothing like Han Solo. But then I saw a set photo of him in the gear, and the hair, and everything. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'll give him a chance. Aiden Einrach, I think is his name. He does a great job. And Donald Glover, playing Lando. He does a great job. And I love Billy D. Williams. But he does a great job. And that's why I think that out of the two one-offs, this one is the best. I'm sorry, but it is. It's the most Star Wars of the Star Wars spin-offs. This one has Darth Vader and a computer-generated Princess Leia. But the ending where Darth Vader... See, let's talk about that. You have this awesome end part where Darth Vader is just tearing people up with his lightsaber on the ship from the beginning of New Hope. But compare that to the beginning of New Hope. You have him slicing people up with his lightsaber, going from that to the beginning of New Hope where he's just letting his stormtroopers do it for him. And only doing this in A New Hope. Where's the connect? There's a disconnect there where he's tearing people up with his lightsaber, going from that to just walking and having his troopers shoot for him. As awesome as it was to see Darth Vader tearing people up with a lightsaber, it doesn't connect to the original that way, because that's not how Darth Vader was at this point. If it was Darth Vader from right after Episode 3, then yes. But Darth Vader at this point would be in his 40s. You'd think, at least. He would be more subdued like he was in A New Hope. So him tearing stuff up, while possible, is not the way the character was played in the original. And that's what kind of threw me off. I'm like, that doesn't seem like the character of Darth Vader at all. As cool as it was, and I'll admit, it was cool to see him, Darth Vader, tearing things up with the lightsaber. It wasn't the way the character was supposed to be in the original. It's not the way, as much as people give George Lucas flack, that's not the way George Lucas portrayed the character in the original. Oh no, the spin-offs aren't bad. I'm going to say in this case, like I said, Solo was the better one, but they're not bad. They were a good idea. And if they continue the spin-off format and make it TV shows, like I watched like three episodes of Mandalorian so far, and I'm really enjoying it. I think they could, do, like, if they were to take this and turn it into a Disney Plus show, I'd watch it. I think they could do a good job continuing the story, and they should, actually. But yeah, the spin-offs were a good idea in theory. In execution, in the case of Rogue One, not so much. Solo, I think should have got more attention. I think more people should have went to see it because it is the better film. But yeah, there's not much to talk about with these. This is probably the shortest video I'm going to have out of these. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on the Star Wars spin-offs? One-offs, whatever you call them. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Solo is better than Rogue One? Do you think Rogue One is better than Solo? There's no wrong answer here. Everyone has their opinions. What I say is not the truth. Unless, it's based on actual truths. I'm just saying it's my opinion. That's what I'm trying to say. In my opinion, I think Solo is the better film. What are your thoughts? Which one do you think is the better film? Let me know in the comments below. No opinion is wrong or anything. Just let me know. I've been Scotty. Like, share, and subscribe. May the Force be with you.